I was living in Panama City, Florida, and I was looking, that's where I'm from, Panama City, and I was looking for youth ministry positions. I had been a youth director in a different denomination, and in 2009, I interviewed and accepted the position at Benton United Methodist Church in Benton, Louisiana, and I moved there to become the youth director. And while I was there, I talked to Lynn Malone, the pastor who hired me. I said, Lynn, I think I might be called to be an associate pastor. What do you think about that? And Lynn said, we could talk about that. And then a little while later, I said, Lynn, I think maybe God is calling me to be a pastor, a senior pastor in the United Methodist Church. And he said, oh, well, we could talk about that. He has a great poker face. So we talked to the SPR there, and they said, yes, they would endorse me as a candidate on one condition, that I would go to Curcio, a retreat they kept telling me about. And when I went there, I had some very powerful spiritual moments. God really worked in me in some great ways and opened me up to grace. And during that retreat, I had conversations with both of the spiritual directors, Brady Whitten and Leon Boggs, and really got my call to ministry solidified. And after that, I went and enrolled in Licensed to Preach school so I could be a licensed local pastor while I enrolled in seminary if that opportunity came available. I also enrolled at Asbury in Kentucky because of the online component there. And shortly into my time at Asbury, I moved to First Methodist of Monroe to become the youth director there, and still was doing classes online at Asbury. And while I was there, they had a shift in the staffing, so there was an associate position came available. So I was appointed as an associate there at First Monroe as a licensed local pastor, and continued to finish up seminary. And when I graduated seminary, I was appointed to be the senior pastor at First United Methodist Church of Winnsboro while I went through the RIM process, and we just completed that. Now I've been appointed at Trinity United Methodist Church as the associate. I was asked to officiate a wedding in late June, an outdoor wedding in North Louisiana at 6 p.m., and it was very hot. And I was asked by the bride and groom to serve communion. It was going to be a very beautiful moment. I was going to serve them, and then as a married couple, their first action was going to be to serve everyone there. So it was very nice. Well, I went down and I was holding up the elements, and I was consecrating those, and we heard a kind of a thud and a bunch of gasps. And I looked over, and one of the bridesmaids had just fallen out because of the heat. And people ran over to her, and they were seeing about her. And I looked over, and I said, "Okay, is she okay? Let's get her inside, get some cold towels on her." And the bride looked at me and said, "She's fine. Keep going." I said, "Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe we need to check." And she said, "She's fine. Keep going." So I kept going. The bridesmaid was fine, and everything worked out. I am thankful for so many people. First, I need to thank my wife, Teresa. She jumped in with me on this journey, and it's being a pastor's spouse is a unique thing, and she's been so supportive and so wonderful. I want to thank my 3 kids, Braden, Kirsten, and Robbie. They have supported me all the time I had to spend studying in seminary, and at times, I had to cut activities with them a little short to finish up what we were doing, or when I went away on different things. And they're always not only understanding, but so supportive. And I do need to thank quite a few pastors in the conference very quickly. Lynn Malone, Danny Gleason, Brady Whitten and Leon Boggs, J. Roddy Taylor, Joanne Cooper, Larry Stafford, and all of the folks in my RIM class who were so supportive and are being ordained along with me. Jesus told us when he was talking to Peter that the Church of Jesus Christ will continue on no matter what it faces. The church may look different. As a matter of fact, throughout history, the church has shifted and looked different. But generally, that has only been an opportunity to reach more people in different ways for the gospel. So I think the church, as Jesus said, will continue on and will continue to be triumphant in proclaiming the gospel, the good news of the love and grace of Jesus Christ. For a long time, I did different things. I started out as a youth director in other denominations. As I said, I took some time away from that and was a teacher, a coach, school administrator. And I've worked in so many other jobs in my life, in restaurant work and in customer service and et cetera. And I always felt this, I always felt this stirring inside of me, knowing that there was something different. And I believe that God calls all of us to the places to which God calls us. And every vocation can be a calling from God, but I never felt quite settled in any of my other vocations. And when I distinguished the call, when through the help of other people, I understood that my call was to ministry, I felt this fulfillment and this peace. And ever since I've started doing it, even on my, quote, worst days at work as a pastor, it's still some of the best days of my life. There's nothing else I could imagine myself doing. I'm honored to be a vessel of God's grace. I'm honored to be a part of people's lives and to walk with them as they walk with me in our walks of discipleship. And it's just a place where I find my deepest part of myself fulfilled because I know I'm doing what God has called me to do and being who God has called me to be.